Welcome to the NASCAR AI iRacing career mode. Here, I'll be competing against a field of AI drivers in the NASCAR Cup Series. I, as seen in this photo, will be competing for Front Row Motorsports for the first season. After this, we're not really sure. I am currently considered as a driver within a contract year, as well as 6 other drivers, which I will release as the season goes on. Another driver here that is of note is Jordan Parker. He will be joining us for some of the season as a real driver, which means that some of these will be in hosted sessions. So some of these hosted sessions with Jordan, the schemes may not all load, but a majority should. This also means that Jordan has the ability to shake up the silly season, as I do not have major control over his actions. I have laid out a few ground rules for him, which I have explained with him, and that will depend their silly season. He will also only be finding out about these releases as you guys find out, as I'm not telling him anything in the form of driver retirements, charter sales, or anything. But seeing as it's the Los Angeles Clash for the Cup Series, let's go ahead and get straight into it. To start off here, we're going to go ahead and begin practice, and these practices are only about 5 laps. I'm not running practice for a majority of these races beforehand, as I already have some minor experience on many courses just through officials and through running different leagues. Here we're going to go ahead and show off just one practice lap. You can see me sitting in third for a majority of the lap. You can drop down to second, but you will get a bit looser on corner exit, and you will actually see me do it at some points during the race. And after our first lap, we're going to come back out again at the end of practice just to try and get out with some more cars and see what the racing is like. And you can see the AI don't really utilize the apron, and I feel like that's where I'm gaining a majority of my time, is under braking and into the apron. And I'm going to make sure that the AI are not this, I guess, far off at other tracks. I don't think it'll be as much of an issue, just due to how weird this track is compared to others, but as we get into qualifying, this pace difference in these corners is really going to show. The AI did end up being a bit better when it came to race pace, is what I noticed, but really only a few, and I think some of that is due to the skill settings. So as we come into qualifying, our first lap is going to be faster, so I'm only going to show this first lap. We're going to stay in third again, and as we come out of 4, we're going to go ahead and set a 13.577, which was the fastest time. William Byron was your second fastest qualifier. Jordan Parker, actually as an AI this time, set your third fastest. Joey Logano and Tyler Reddick round out your top 5. Keep an eye on drivers such as Ryan Blaney and Josh Berry, as they are the 2 highest when it comes to skill factors for these short track races.
1 left to green.
Coming to 1 to green, you can see me sitting in first gear. Most next gen tracks you are going to be in second gear on the restarts or the normal race starts, but at a short track here like LA, you can really get away with using first gear, as you're not really going, I mean, the pace speed here is 25 miles an hour, so you're not really going very fast to a point where you're going to need to shift up. But coming here to the green flag, I'm waiting for it to be thrown, as the original race start is on the flag. And as the flag is thrown, we're going to go ahead and just barrel into 1, quickly get up into second gear and try and get away from William Byron. We are going to clear him, and Joey Logano here is going to go for a move right into 3 and 4. Is actually going to get alongside William Byron, and they're going to continue to battle down the front stretch and into turn 2, and as well as onto the next lap. Here you can see Logano go for a move, trying to get 2 cars in 1 corner, finish the move on Byron and create the move on me, but I am going to pull away a bit from Logano here and just try and build up a gap. As we set the fastest lap of the session for myself, Joey Logano is actually going to clear William Byron and actually not fully get away. Byron is going to remain on the back of Logano for a while, which allows us to continue to just push and try and get away. At this point, I'm trying to build a gap, because I know when it comes to lap traffic, it is a bit hard to get around and through lap traffic here at LA. The car in P6, which I believe was actually Josh Berry at the time, sets a fast lap of 13.9. And we're going to throw down a 14.0 and just try and chase this fastest lap to make sure that we are dominant, as William Byron, you can see on the relative, is able to clear Joey Logano. And we are actually able to take the fastest lap here with a 13.741. And coming up here on lap traffic, Ricky Stenhouse here in the NOS 47, and then Shane Van Gisbergen here in the Red Bull 97. So we're going to come up here and go for the move on Stenhouse, and we just are not able to clear him. It takes multiple laps sometimes to clear when you're not actively pushing. The biggest thing with pushing here at LA when it comes to AI is you're at such a high risk of wrecking. Because if you slide up and hit an AI, you're going to go around and they're not going to, be turned at all. We're actually going to use Gisbergen here as a pick and finally clear Stenhouse, but get stuck on the inside of Gisbergen and have to follow this line of lap cars now. As you can see, Joey Logano just set the fastest lap in P3 as he's been cleared by William Byron and actually has a gap ahead of him. William's stuck here behind this lap traffic as well, so we're going to just try and push through. You can see me make contact with Majeski, which is the opposite of what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get through this traffic as clean as possible, and as we get to the end of this train here, after a few laps, we're going to get stuck under Bubba Wallace and try and clear him into the braking zone. And it's so hard to clear here because if you can get the outside line right, you can get a run, especially on these AI. And the AI will sometimes just bog up so bad on the inside line, as we're actually going to go ahead and hit Eric Jones here on accident. He checked up way earlier than I expected him to. We're going to get stuck here on the outside. And actually Josh Berry has cleared William Byron for a second. Josh Berry started in 7th, so he is up 5 positions currently. And he is currently chasing us through lap traffic as I notice and begin to push. And we're going to try and pass the 31 of Zane Smith as well as the 6 of Brad Keselowski. Here we're going to get on the outside of Zane Smith, and we're not going to clear him into the turn, and instead once again get stuck on the outside. Continue to try and make this outside work, as like I said, the AI do bog down massively on the straightaways, and we're just not able to get clear. So coming into turn 1, it's kind of our last chance, and we just overbreak it, and Josh Berry actually gets by us, and now it's a fight for first. Josh Berry coming into turn 3 is actually going to clear us at a 4, and we're going to try a switchback, and we just can't get on the power and end up losing too much grip at a 4. So at this point, I'm now just trying to make sure that I can go, and we actually get our first chance at Berry a lap later, and we can't do anything when we're pinned that low, so we're going to ride behind him. Actually make contact with Raja here. He was running a lane lower, so not quite sure what he was doing, but just continue to follow Berry through lap traffic. I mean, we have 70 laps to get this pass done, so in no rush at all. We're actually going to go for another move here into 1 and just continue to put pressure on him. As we're still pulling away from 3rd at the time, we're actually going to make some minor contact with him here down the back straight and continue to stay on his inside. He's actually going to clear us again here at a 4. We're going to follow him into 1 once again, try and get a run out of 2, get back to his back bumper, and just continue to try and put pressure on him here. He actually bogs up down the front stretch, and we're going to get back to his outside and try and cut back in to make sure that Ross can't get back to us. Here we have Ricky Stenhouse, and we're actually going to go ahead and go for it, and we've outbraked ourselves, and we're going to go into the outside wall in 3 and 4. Nothing major damage wise, but here is a replay. You can see us just go down the backstretch, and into 3 we lock up the left front, it seems, nail the outside wall, and just continue to try and follow Josh Berry. 3 laps later, after that flattering display of skill, we are still trying to chase down Josh Berry. We've gotten back to his rear bumper as he's stuck behind the 67 of Corey Heim. We're actually going to bump him here out of 2 and try and dive to his inside, use Corey Heim as a pick. We're actually going to get below him and clear him here and just try and get by Corey and get moving. Now Josh actually gets back to our rear bumper, and at this point I'm just trying to get as much of a gap as I can before he clears Corey, but he's already through. I actually missed my braking zone again, and it's back to a fight. Berry gets back to my inside. I have to run the high line, try and get to his outside still, use that right rear of Berry to try and straighten myself out, and Berry just ends up clearing in 3 and 4 anyway. Now coming into 1 and 2, we're going to try a 3 wide move, and it's just, we didn't have enough speed for it, so instead we're going to slide up behind Allmendinger, try and follow Berry, and we're actually going to bump Berry pretty massively and go into the corner, and coming out, he's actually checked up by Gisbergen, and we're going to make contact with him again, go for another 3 wide move into 1. We're actually going to get to his inside and be fully alongside him into 3. Here's a replay once again. Coming into 1, we just get completely outbraked by Berry. Berry was so much faster on corner entry. And here we are stuck on the outside once again. You can see me try and look for a crossover move. And here we go. Here's this 3 wide, the original 3 wide move that didn't work out. And it just doesn't work, so we follow Allmendinger. fall behind Barry and just completely outbrake myself and just run into the rear of him. And then here's this checkup behind Gisbergen again. It actually ended up working out for us because it forced Barry to slow down, and that's how we got to his inside. And coming down into 3, we're actually going to use Gisbergen again, stay to Barry's inside, and stay alongside, and eventually we're going to go ahead and clear him into turn 1. Go ahead and stay alongside and clear him out of 2, and now we are fully gone. Once me and Barry were clear of that train wreck, we came up on another major lap car traffic, I guess, group. Me and Barry are able to clear this first 3 pretty easily, get it in front of Zane Smith as he's holding the other 2 up. We're going to fall behind Todd Gilliland here, who is in 8th, so we are approaching the quicker cars. We're going to try and dive under him and just don't have enough power as of right now. He's actually going to stay on our outside and almost clear us into 3. We're going to remain under him and follow Bubba on the inside. Bubba actually is clear, so he's moving between the 2, and we're going to continue to try and fight against Gilliland, who's still on our outside. And we're finally going to clear him here, as well as Bubba and Raja Caruth. Now we're going to try and pass our teammate of Anthony Alfredo, and we just aren't able to get the run out of 4. He's actually going to clear us again. Josh Berry is stuck behind my other teammate of Todd Gilliland, so teammates helping and hurting at the same time right now. Berry is very harshly trying to get that position from Todd Gilliland so he can try and chase me. I'm very harshly trying to get the position from my teammate so I can try and get away from Josh Berry. Josh Berry does finally clear Gilliland here, and I'm going to try for an outside move on Alfredo and instead get stuck on the outside again, and then follow Anthony on the inside around Eric Jones and just try and clear at least 1 car to put between myself and Josh Berry. As we are finally going to clear Eric Jones, Barry is going to go for a Hail Mary into 3 and 4. I'm actually going to miss my braking zone, and Barry gets to my inside for a split second. He's actually going to dive under again into 1 and 2 and then bog down as the AI are doing. Then we're going to try and go around the outside of our teammate of Anthony Alfredo. We are actually going to clear him down the front stretch, and now we are stuck behind the 2 of Ty Majeski as Josh Berry makes quick work of Anthony Alfredo. Josh actually tries to get to our inside again, and once again that inside move just doesn't work out. We're going to continue to try and go around the outside of Ty Majeski in this 2 car as lap 67 is commencing. We are in the final third of the race now, so doing everything I can to try and pass this 2 before we get to other lap traffic or before Barry can get to me. Just unable to really get around this 2 of Ty Majeski on this outside for whatever reason. And actually a few laps later, we're going to come up on Ricky Stenhouse on lap 69, and we're going to use him as a pick and actually do a 2-for-1 move and absolutely send it into 3 and 4 to try and clear both cars at the same time. And we are actually going to get Stenhouse coming into it. Here's a replay here. You can see me take that outside line. You can see Ty Majeski bog down and myself just kind of weave between the cars and just send it to try and get any position that I can and put more position between me and Josh Berry. Following that move, Ty Majeski and Ricky Stenhouse are actually going to be side by side, which allows me to pull on Barry massively, as a few laps later Barry's going to get actually to me again and push Gisbergen into me in 3 and 4 as I'm now rushing to try and get away. We are 25 laps from the end of this race. We're 3/4 through. I'm doing everything to get by this lap traffic, stuck behind Austin Hill in the 8. So we're going to try and just shove him down the front stretch just to try and get him past some of these cars. Because, like I said, I'm doing everything away from Josh Berry, and Josh Berry is currently on my bumper. I see the position open to the inside and actually attempt a 3-wide move here on Reddick. It doesn't end up working out, and instead we're going to have to try it again into 1. And this one, Josh Berry is actually going to go into the middle and get alongside me. We're actually going to clear him once again into 3. Hold the position and just try and relax, because I feel like at this point I was pushing him a little too hard. You can see a replay here of me just trying to struggle, or trying to get through and struggling. Here's this original move for 3 on Reddick into 3 and 4, and I was never alongside really to begin with, so I'm not really sure why I tried it a second time, but I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures. I'm doing everything I can at this point to get away from the 88 of Josh Berry, who is taking Alex Bowman's position in that 4th Hendrick car. Now, after this, we are going to try somewhat mellow out. A lot of these cars are going single file, but at the same time, we're trying to be extremely aggressive with passing these lap cars. Get stuck on the outside of Zane Smith again. While rewatching this, I did realize that every time I went to pass Zane Smith, I got stuck on the outside for a few laps because the original pass was on the outside. And it happens once again. And here we're actually going to go again, and we're going to outbrake ourselves and actually make slight contact with the 31 of Zane Smith. And that's going to end up working out for us because it bogs Zane Smith down out of 2. And into 3, we're going to take the high side again and finally clear Zane Smith on that outside. You can see here both moves. This is the original move that got us stuck on the outside. It was already cutting it close. And then this second move coming out of 4 here, we're going to just gas it up on the outside. I thought he was going to turn down earlier, and he just doesn't. You can see that slight contact, which sends us up the track. And just me trying to wheel that outside. You can see Josh Berry actually tried something very similar. Somewhat seemed to be following me on the front and back stretch, and there's where we finally clear him. And we're actually going to come up here out of 4. Jordan Parker's going to check up on us here. I'm not really sure why. Showing my displeasure, sending him all the way through, and Jordan Parker doesn't seem happy about it either.
What the f*** is his problem?
And that's the radio message from Jordan Parker. Doesn't seem very happy about what we did to show our displeasure. But at the same time, you could argue that he checked up on us. So, I mean, just share what you think in the comments down below. Coming to almost 10 to go, it's 11 to go currently. We're going to come up on another lap traffic train, and we're just doing everything to go. This entire last 10 laps is going to be completely unedited. I mean, this is exactly what happened. Coming up here, we're going to, pass Barry again. He keeps going for that inside move. We're going to keep gassing it up on the outside. We're gassing earlier, gassing harder, just to do anything to pass these lap cars. We're going to get to the outside of Keselowski. File behind Corey Heim here. Keselowski's going to bog down. We're going to move to the inside. Try for a 3-wide move, and we're not going to get there, so we're going to get stuck. We're going to slide up, actually make contact here with Corey Heim. Not quite sure what that was for. I don't know why I slid up like that. We're going to follow Noah Gragson, our third teammate. Front row did gain 2 charters from Stuart Hassig in the sport, and then 2311 with the 67 of Corey Heim, and Trackhouse with the 97 of Shane Van Gisbergen. We're still trying to get through this lap traffic. So is Josh Berry. Lap 94 of 100, 7 to go currently. Josh Berry does. We do have a whole car buffer in both lanes to Josh, and we're just going to pull away here as Rajah Caruth backs that entire outside lineup. We're going to try and pass our teammate Noah Gragson here in 11th. So we're actually going to clear him, and Josh Berry at this point is so far back that I think it's safe to say that we are long gone. So at this point, I've kind of relaxed. Not trying to push the car too hard. Worst thing I could do at this point is wreck myself. So we're just going to stay here behind AJ Allmendinger and hope that we do not send this into overtime. And we are looking to go for an overtake on Allmendinger, it seems. And we're just going to follow him in 3 and 4. I guess get the power down. I don't know. It's kind of back and forth on if it's trying to get between us and Allmendinger. You can see me scroll down. Josh Berry was stuck behind about 5 or 6 lap cars before I found him in the relative, so I knew I didn't have to push. So like I said, I think I was between the idea of passing and not passing Allmendinger, and I think at this point I'm pretty content. So 3 to go currently. Into 3, we're gonna just follow Allmendinger again. It did seem to be like I was turning in shallower and earlier than the AI, and I think that may be some of the speed difference as well. It's just the line. Allmendinger here is actually going to come up on his former colleague teammate of Shane Van Gisbergen, obviously both now in the Cup Series compared to Xfinity. We're actually going to go 3 wide, never mind 2 wide. We've both cleared Gisbergen. And out of 2 here, we're going to stay alongside. We're actually going to slide up and hit Allmendinger. Thought I wrecked myself there. Would not forgive myself for it. And coming to the checkered flag, we are going to cross and win the LA Clash in the NASCAR season opener.
You won. Awesome job.
We did it. Thank you.
And there you hear the radio message as we are going to go ahead and begin our burnout. Hopefully the first of many, as front row will be considered a front running team here in this career mode. But just going to let you enjoy the rest of this burnout. Alright, so our final results will be myself in first, Josh Berry and Ryan Blaney rounding out the podium, William Byron and Joey Logano taking the top 5, Tyler Reddick, Anthony Alfredo, Todd Gilliland, Chris Buescher, and AJ Allmendinger all closing the top 10, and then Noah Gragson, Corey Heim, Ross Chastain, Jordan Parker, Ty Majeski, Eric Jones, Austin Hill, Bubba Wallace, Brad Keselowski, and Rajah Caruth closing out the top 20, and then Zane Smith, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Shane Van Gisbergen taking 21st, 22nd, and 23rd respectively. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and look forward to Daytona coming out in a few days or possibly a week as I begin to record this season. Until next time, I'll see you later.